Last Friday, the president said the private sector is doing fine, stating that it's actually government job losses that are bringing down the jobs numbers. Is he right, Michael?
Well, no, he's not right. The private sector is not doing just fine, despite his efforts to destroy them. I think a lot of people are working hard and doing the best they can, but the chilling effect on our economy is how much money is not being loaned out, how much money is not being churned through the economy, because people don't want to engage in commerce under this man. And now we've got liberal talk show hosts saying, well, they're trying to tank the economy. No, people are tired of the government. They're tired of the impositions. There's a lot of money that's offshore that could be repatriated, but these tax policies, clearly Barack Obama cares only about government employees and unions, and that's who he's the government for.
Not right. The president was saying in comparison, 4.3 million private sector jobs created over the last 27 months. We've lost 450,000 in the public sector. This president, as much as you laugh at it, was handed a $1 trillion deficit. Wars that weren't paid for. Great kiss to the pharmaceutical companies not paid for. Tax cuts to the wealthy. It's 30 years of busting unions, taking the regulations off businesses, and giving tax breaks to the wealthy. That's what he inherited. Had he not helped keep firefighters and cops and teachers on the job, we would have been in a depression. It's Mitt Romney who doesn't understand that the government does have a role in keeping teachers and firefighters and cops. And finally, if the Republicans were serious about creating jobs, they would have a transportation bill passed in January that would have put 2 million more construction workers, architects, engineers on the job right now with that ripple effect in the economy.
Next topic. As Paul Ryan pointed out, Mitt Romney's polling even with Obama despite the fact that the president has the bully pulpit and millions in his war chest. Is it time for the president to start worrying, Carl?
No, it's not time for the president to start worrying, and I love the fact that he's got millions in his war chest. Give me a break. The outside money, the super PAC money, Romney's on track to make have a $1 billion war chest. Obama won't have a tenth of that in super PAC. This money is absolutely out of control in this country, and if you don't think it makes a difference, go to those local races where Karl Rove can come in and spend $1 million to buy a judgeship. The president need not be worried. The economic policies of this country are better when you invest rather than let the private sector run rampant and cause the same dynamic that took us down in the first place. The American people know it, and they'll vote that way in November, despite the money advantage by Romney.
Michael.
Well, I think what you're seeing is we're early in the process, and there will be a lot of movement between now and Election Day. But some of the groups that you're starting to see some movement with, will his support amongst blacks, will it go back up to where it was in 2008? Probably not. But how depressed will voter turnout be in the black community? What was his issue in gay marriage? What's that going to do to his black support? Are unions going to be as energized before when he didn't deliver and he didn't involve himself in Wisconsin? I don't think the issue is the poll, because that asks people assuming that everybody votes. What really matters is not how people vote, but who shows up to vote. And I think what you're seeing is a depressed electorate for Obama, and you're going to watch a race to the bottom as he tries to fire up the base with charges of racism.
Can I just quote comedian Larry Wilmore on The Daily Show? And this is not extra time. This is just a funny observation. Jon Stewart asked him, is Mitt Romney making inroads with black voters? And he said, yes, the same way people jumping up and down are getting closer to the sun.
Oh, yeah, I agree. I heard that.
Next topic. In hearings on the Fast and Furious debacle, GOP members of Congress have called for Attorney General Eric Holder to be charged with contempt of Congress and even asked for his resignation. Are Republican attacks on Holder legitimate or just another political maneuver? Michael?
Well, it's sad because the Democrats are now defending a lawbreaker, a guy who lied. I mean, a Border Patrol agent was killed. I don't know if he was a Republican or a Democrat, but when we can no longer conduct our criminal justice system on the basis of right and wrong, and they're going to politicize even that, it's embarrassing. Eric Holder is out of control. And the Democrats ought to see that, because he's going to cost them votes in November, because this is a man who is power hungry. This is a man who's done some terrible things. This is a man who has used the criminal justice system to attack his political enemies, and I think, yes, his time has run. And if Obama has any sense, he will ask him to step down for the good of the country.
You know, nothing that Michael said there is true. And first of all, this is another great example of how Republicans aren't creating jobs. They're worrying about this nonsense with Eric Holder, which has no basis in fact. They're trying to take birth control away from women instead of creating jobs, which they said they would do. There is absolutely no basis in fact that he either lied or did anything illegal. This Fast and Furious botch program started under Alberto Gonzales. And furthermore, the Congress does not have the right to subpoena any documents from the Department of Justice, which could then give advantage to lawbreakers who know the rules and regulations and priorities of the Justice Department. That was Reagan's position. That has been the position of every administration. Nobody is stalling this. There's no evidence whatsoever of any malfeasance here. This is a political ploy. You give me a picture of the Obama cabinet and say, which would Republicans go after? You know which one they'd go after.
Finally, who's going to win the NBA championship, the Miami Heat or Oklahoma City Thunder? Carl.
The Seattle Supersonics.
I'm a Trailblazers fan myself, going way back, Carl, but I would have to say Oklahoma City, and I sure hope so. I'm not a Miami Heat fan, and the fact that they pulled together to try to create a winning team, the way they did that was unseemly, to say the least. Oklahoma City did it through the draft. I think it's going to be a fun series to watch.
I think you're right about that, and I still want to put in a plug for what I think was the greatest NBA team ever. My Philadelphia 76ers of 1967 went 68-13 with Wilt Chamberlain at center, Luke Jackson, Wally Jones, Hal Greer, and Chet Walker. Best
Good
ever.
grief, you sound whiter than Scotty Brooks saying that.
Yep.
Right.
Are you doing this debate in blackface?
Hear Carl Wolfson, 6 to 9 mornings on Sister Station AM 620 KPOJ. Listen for Michael Berry, noon to 3 here on News Radio 1190 and 102.3 KEX. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.